supposedly she loved him, but
she didn't know what that word means.
How does that make sense in your head?
Y'all, I every day get more emotional than this about fictional characters, okay?
Yeah, I mean, damn.
God damn. I mean, she's just so cold and detached.
That's what I don't understand what the deal is, because I hear crap like that all the time, and it's like, do y'all not get that, A causes B?
Well, I just don't understand, like, I just don't understand how she could do, like, that is some pathological, messed up bullshit for a 17-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. Like, so I've thought about it. Like, what, other than the sympathy defense or whatever, what else could have been her end game?
Wow.
I mean, what?
I don't know.
I don't understand how she didn't go, this is going to end up bad for me. Like, I'm smart enough to know anything that I text can be pulled out and used against me. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, if I'm going to do something highly illegal or more immoral, I'm not going to just, like, I'm going to do it on the DL. Mm-hmm. I'd like to think I would. I don't know. I don't do a lot of illegal shit, but I mean, that's what I'm talking about. They do like what she did, and then they act like, wow, why am I getting in trouble now? I don't get it. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, hello? Okay, now, obviously, this is one... I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about what she did and what she was trying to accomplish. She was... Well, what about, like... And we've all seen it. Like, the cyberbullying where you see the kids go, why don't you kill yourself?
Oh, yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all, that gets me. That gets me bad because you just never know what kind of mental state somebody's in. And I know...
Or what kind of day they've had, or,
what they're facing.
Well, with that...
I mean, I'm not saying that should be a jail sentence, but...
Well, yeah, and that is shit, don't get me wrong. But with the cyberbullying, if they just said, well, why don't you kill yourself?
It's kind of like when someone gets so mad and I'm like, oh, I could just kill him, and then someone says, well, you threatened his life.
Yeah, that's
well, no, I was just mad.
Right.
But if they keep like egging on and on and on, that's different.
Like, I could kill you right now, I'm so mad. Everybody said that, but you don't really mean you're going to kill somebody. So I understand when it's an isolated thing, but I'm talking about these where we've seen in the news, like, where these kids just relentlessly, day after day, why don't you kill yourself? The world will be better without you. That's not a knee-jerk reaction. No. That's not an anger response.
Something needs to happen to them.
I think there should be.
Throw them in juvenile detention.
I mean, because if you really have that little regard for somebody else's well-being and life, yeah, I get more upset than that about stray animals. I mean...
Now, I've never heard anyone's stories about juvie. Do you know if they're hard on them, or do they just let them sit there and play basketball and shit all day?
A lot of them. It all depends on where they go. I mean, there's everything from like
horrible facilities to
where it's more like
country club.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it depends on what you can afford. No. Like anything else,
or what area you're in.
Mm-hmm. Or, there are some that do.
I can tell you this. There's not a whole lot of rehabilitation involved.
Well, I mean, in some of the military ones, it's certainly...
And I'm not saying that's every case.
Because isn't that what that Subiaco is?
That's what they need to all be like, some military ones.
Well, what type of... what would it take to rehabilitate someone who has bullied another person to the point that they killed themselves?
I would drown them in stories of people's experiences and family members of people who have bring people in and talk to them about their experiences with someone killing themselves and
like having to live without the person that you love because of...
I mean, seriously, just set them down and break their fucking heart.
But the question is, do they have a heart to be broken?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if
and probably out of 100, there's going to be a percentage that does. And there's going to be a percentage that doesn't,
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. Like, some of them are just ignorant. Like, they don't think, they can't. It's all about me. We don't... But then there's, like, this girl, that's beyond that.
Definitely.
She's pathological.
Oh, hands down.
I need some of that Scared Straight. I loved that show.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good show.
I don't know if you remember this, but somebody that we used to be around... how manipulative they were at 4 or 5 years old. That you Baby
She's doing a lot of blinking.
Oh, well, yeah, but we don't know because we never saw what they turned into be.
No, but at that point, it was kind of like, wow.
Yeah,
how do you know?
I used to, when I was pregnant, I babysat for this couple, and they had 2 children. And, like, the mom was one of those real, like, granola moms. I mean, like, she breastfed way too long.
Oh, that's not weird at all.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Good
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Yeah, no, seriously.
37 still.
Yeah.
But,
I'm hungry, Mom.
Finish pumping. I got to take a lunch to work.
I'm working a double today. But, they had a little girl.
And a little boy.
And a little girl...
4 or 5 years.
She was about 5 and he was about 2.5. So that was the age difference. She was diabolical. Like, I've often wondered if this little girl has turned into like a killer or because like she was still small and didn't have a lot of finesse, but you could see the wheels turning in there and you could see the little dark thoughts, and she would do something and like just look at you straight dead and say, he did it. She would like, I once saw her like hurt herself bad. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, and say, he did that to me, and I'm like, no, he didn't.
Oh wow.
I watched you do it to yourself.
Yeah, and then like she would hit him, and you'd get onto her and have her sit in timeout or something. And then she'd start to injure herself and just leave terrible bruises. I mean, like, it takes some mental something to just sit and hurt yourself. And she would do that so that she would have marks way worse than he did, so that she would
get sympathy.
And Mama would go, oh, well, they must have gotten. I'm like, I'm telling you, that is not what happened.
So you told the mom that was going on.
Yeah.
She just didn't believe you?
She didn't believe me.
No.
She was like, oh, well, she made excuses for it, oh, she's just got a great imagination. I'm thinking, bitch, she got more than that, okay?
Have you looked them up on Facebook? I'd be stalking.
Well, they divorced, and I don't know, like, I only knew the name, and so I don't know how to find them.
Do you remember the little girl's name?
No, I remember the little boy because she was always blaming him. I think I blocked her out.
I tried to look him up and see if he has a sister. I'm good at Facebook stalking.
Well, we may have to give you some homework, but yeah, like, and he was just such a sweet little boy, and just your average little. She was just dark. She just, I mean, like, to me, it was scary, like, that she could be that crafty
at that age.
Like, she wasn't even in school yet, so like 4.5, 5.
Was the mom a granola mom before she had her? Or like, when she was a baby? Or was it...
I mean, I didn't know.
Maybe she was on some kind of medication or doing something where...
I don't know.
Maybe something wasn't quite right with the baby, so she went the other way.
Oh, I don't know. I've never thought of it, because I met them when the little boy was about a year old, and I knew them throughout 2.5 years, and it was a weird family. I mean, like, the dad was real disconnected. I think mom was a beard.
Oh. It took me a minute to figure out what the fuck that was, but no, I got it.
Dad was gay.
Yeah,
she worked for the circus.
Because, like, yeah. And I mean, I think it actually came out. We ran into her years later in the grocery store, and she found out that had been the case, that he was actually seeing men and left her for a man. And, which, I mean, I don't care. I'd probably dated a man before her too.
What was she like? Fugly as hell?
She was weird as shit, man.
Oh.
I mean, she wasn't an unattractive. She I mean, I'm not
for a Sasquatch.
Wish y'all could have seen Ross's face.
Yeah, she looked
For a Sasquatch.
She looked okay for a linebacker.
But I mean, you know how couples don't match? Like, she didn't pay any attention to her appearance.
No.
And he did. He was very meticulous and very, put together and very articulate. And she was just always a little bit crazy. And so, yeah. Yeah, but like that real like almost like
Jack Sparrow kind of.
Yeah.
like the hippie Earth Mother, but like too much. I mean, because like I'm all about the love and the peace and shit, but no, this was just. I mean, I always just look at it like, yeah, it's some good shit. But yeah, and so I always wondered like what happened to that kid, because I don't think you grow out of that. I think if anything, it's going to get worse.
think so.
No, not at that age. I would think it would just get
That's not
exponentially worse.
That's like a.
Oh, anyway, I saw something yesterday, I believe, that I wanted to say something about. We've actually done an episode on it. Kids in hot cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good
Have
news.
you seen?
Good news. I don't know where it was at. I don't remember them saying where it was at, but a van parked outside of a liquor store.
That was in
with the two women?
Oklahoma.
And that was in Owasso, Oklahoma.
It was in Owasso,
where
that's
my
right.
niece lives.
And a woman walked by, and there's a baby in there. Car's not
not in
on.
a car
Windows
seat.
are up. She said she had been there 15, 20 minutes after she called the police, and they still hadn't come out.
Damn.
By God, when they walked out the door after police had gotten into the van, they arrested both adults in the
Yeah, I
vehicle.
heard one of them say, "We had the air running," and they're like, "The car's
It's
not even turned on."
Yeah,
Yeah,
the car's
and,
turned on,
And that
dummy.
baby was red.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
he
so
was.
red. That cop was so pissed.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean,
boy,
you
the
could tell he
the
just
comments.
wanted to punch the shit out of her.
You're at a liquor store.
Yeah, you could tell it was everything he was like, what were you thinking? And you know that he really wanted to shake her till the teeth clacked together. But thank God that woman saved that kid, you know. Because first of all, what the hell can you do in a liquor store that long?
I know.
There's two adults.
Why couldn't one of
One
them stay
Stay
in the
with the
car?
kid. And if they both needed to make purchases, okay, you go in, I'll stay with little Johnny, and then I'll go while you and or I know, put him in the fucking shopping basket. He's not going to be drinking things off the counter.
People take
Well,
kids in there all the
hopefully
time.
I don't know,
Yeah,
he
it's
might be
just-
an alcoholic at that age.
Did y'all hear about the baby in I can't remember, Georgia? They found in the woods in the plastic bag.
the little,
my God.
it lived.
Yeah.
They said she's doing really good.
Yeah.
They have a line of people waiting to adopt her.
Yeah, they said. I mean,
But,
she was brand new.
Yeah, the two teenage girls, I think they were sisters, heard something out in the woods, like behind their house.
They were walking their dog or something.
Yeah, it was a cry, and they're like, "Is that an animal?
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't really sound like. Maybe it's hurt or something." So they went, looking around, and they just couldn't find it. So they went and got their parents, and the mom, the dad, both of them went out with flashlights and were looking, and they found, I think they said, a bath mat with a plastic bag on top of it. And they opened it, and there was a baby. It still had an umbilical cord. But yeah, this was
Thank
a brand new
God,
baby.
those girls were out at that moment, heard it, and then didn't just brush it off, or that
Yeah.
baby would have suffered and died from the exposure. And
Yeah.
there's been so.
I'm surprised. I mean, I know they tore the bag open, so it had to be tied in a knot. I'm surprised the baby didn't suffocate.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they heard that baby crying while the mama was walking it through the woods or something.
I don't know. I mean, and like a little baby like that, it couldn't have been far because it wouldn't have carried, and they don't have the strength to cry very loud.
Right.
Especially if it's not been nursed and all,
Well, yeah, when they opened the bag, I mean, she was a fat little baby. She looked healthy.
So she
didn't look like it was somebody that was like hurting themselves during their pregnancy, like not
Yeah.
eating or anything like that. She looked really healthy, and they said she's been thriving.
Oh my God, that's just such. Thank God. That you saw that they captured that guy in White County that beat that toddler, right? You saw
Is that what he did?
that baby's may not make it.
Oh my God.
Hit it so hard in the head that it's got like brain damage.
Oh my
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
how fucking hard? Like, I'm sorry, we should all just tie him down and run over him with our cars over and over and over and over and over. Seems reasonable to me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have someone I went to school with. I knew him before we started like kindergarten. Our family were friends, and I don't know what year this was. I'm trying to think. I guess early 2000s. He had got married, and they had maybe 2 kids. I don't know. They had a baby. They had separated, and she had a boyfriend who had a little kid, and she had the baby with her. And
was the other kid older